Hi, welcome to the community meeting for Broad Creek Park Stream Restoration Project. The community meeting ID is 65220. We request that you provide your attendance information if you're on here. So please use the chat feature to put in your name and contact information. And if you select just Arundel Rivers, your information will only be sent to us and not to everyone that's logged into the meeting tonight. So for an overview, first we'll introduce the Federation, we'll review the project, and we'll answer any questions if there are any. You may ask questions at any time, but please use the chat box feature. So at the Arundel Rivers Federation, we use science, restoration, and community action to make the South, West, and Road rivers cleaner and healthier. We fix rivers through installing restoration projects like this one that filter polluted stormwater, reduce erosion, and absorb excess nutrients. We fight for stronger enforcement of laws to make our rivers safe for swimming and boating and to protect natural resources like fish, oysters, and crabs. We closely monitor the health of the rivers, gathering data on over 50 sites weekly so that we can be strategic on setting priorities for restoration projects. On our water quality side, we have our Southwest and Road Riverkeeper, Jesse. You may see him out on the South River from time to time, monitoring the tidal waters. He is our eyes, ears, and voice for the rivers in Southern and Arundel County. Okay, so this is our meeting for the Broad Creek Park Stream Restoration Project. We are having this meeting as part of the Office of Planning and Zoning requirements because we are requesting modifications for this project. So why are we doing the work? This is voluntary water quality improvement for the Chesapeake Bay. This is not required mitigation, nor is it a capital improvement project. This is purely voluntary environmental restoration. Our purpose is to reduce nitrogen, phosphorus, and sediment from entering the bay. And this project will also help preserve the trails back at Broad Creek Park and increase the habitat value of the site. We have many partners on this project. The funders include the Chesapeake Bay Trust, Anne Arundel County Bureau of Watershed Protection and Restoration, and Maryland Department of Natural Resources. The property is owned by Anne Arundel County Recreation and Parks and Maryland Department of the Environment, Army Corps of Engineers, and Anne Arundel County Inspections and Permits will all have to issue authorizations or permits for the work to begin. So why are we having a community meeting? As I said, we are requesting modifications to the permitting process. Now, these modifications are really set in place for development. So think of buildings, parking lots, businesses, shopping malls, that sort of thing. The modifications are really set for those, but in this case, we are considered a developer and we are treated as one, even though we're doing environmental restoration. So just keep that in the back of your mind as we go through the modifications we are requesting. First, we're requesting a modification to work in non-tidal wetlands. Typically, you cannot work in a wetland. We happen to have an eroding stream that is actually draining and washing away the wetlands. So we need to actually get into those wetlands to restore them. We can't do the work without getting in the wetlands. Same with the stream. Typically, you cannot develop in a stream. You would not want to place your house in the middle of the stream. But in our case, in order to restore the stream, we need access to the stream to restore it to a better condition, to help capture more sediments, reduce the shear stress on the bank to prevent erosion, and to be able to access the floodplain. So we need to get in the stream in order to fix it. Our next modification is for steep slopes. You would not want to build a nice new house right on the edge of steep slopes. Well, in stream restoration, our work is actually set to stabilize the steep slopes on the streams. Our steep slopes were caused by stormwater erosion, and we need to get in there and to stabilize them. So we do need to impact some steep slopes for this project, but again, it's to restore the site. Our final modification is to request to work in non-tidal floodplains. Typically, you would not want to develop a house right where it floods during storms, but the purpose of our project is to actually get in there, restore the stream so that we can reconnect the floodplains, and those storm flows can spread out nice and slow over the whole area instead of rushing right through, causing more erosion and taking more sediment and pollutants into Broad Creek. So to read through some required project information here. Sorry, this is a little boring. It's what the county requires us to state. The project is on public land owned by Anne Arundel County Recreation and Parks, and it will remain so after construction. Parts of the parcel are zoned either C2 commercial, up where like the health department is, or open space. There will be no changes to zoning as a result of this project. The critical area designation is a resource conservation area. That will remain the same as well. All the environmental features can be found on the plans posted on our website. This will detail information such as specimen trees and where all the environmental features can be found. There are no single lot or multi-unit residential projects included as part of the project. There's no non-residential or mixed-use buildings associated with this project either. It is solely voluntary environmental restoration. Area schools include Rolling Knolls Elementary, Bates Middle, and Annapolis High School. While we anticipate all schools to be open during the construction period, we do not anticipate any impacts to the schools because all the work will be contained within the project area, and there are no proposed water or sewer components to the project. Okay, so this is our area map. This project is located off of Truman Parkway between the health department, and it's bordered on the other side by St. John's Properties, the Board of Education, and the Anne Arundel County Heritage Office Complex. So we're working in this lower Valley stream area here. It's approximately 3,700 linear feet of stream restoration, so it is a good size project. And there are lots of popular hiking and walking and running trails back in this area, and we are very excited to be able to stabilize some of those areas so that folks can continue to enjoy those trails. So our project design, you can see the full plans on our website, and the basis of this design is we have a deeply incised gully that's sending sediment and pollutants into the river. So we are going to go into the stream, and this is the stream channel leading through here right now. We're going to go in, and these long structures here are called flood plain control structures. We're going to put these structures in to force the water up and out and into that nice flat valley to take away its erosive nature, rehydrate the wetlands, and to soak down in through groundwater. So you'll notice some of these floodplain grade control structures. They're these long structures pictured throughout the plans, and they're really important because if any new paths of water flow pop up, they're there to make sure that we don't have a new problem pop up. It's to continue to encourage that water to spread out. Now, in some of these other shaded portions, we're actually putting in channel plugs. Essentially, we're kind of creating an earthen dam in the middle of the stream, and that purpose is to push all of that water up and out into the floodplain. Every chance we get, we want to push the water back up and out into the floodplain. And when I say the floodplain, I'm talking about that really wet area back there that no one can walk through because it's already too wet. So we're not pushing it up onto the trails. We're really focusing on the floodplain that's current and wetlands that are currently being drained. We want to keep the water up there, keep the wetlands hydrated, and keep all the pollution on land. So there'll be a series of structures that help us do that. And also as part of this project, we will be filling up the existing channel to a depth of about 2 feet. This is for safety reasons. This is the remainder of the project design as it winds down closer to tidal portions. Again, you'll see more of the floodplain grade control structures stretching across the valley, and you'll see more of these channel plugs to push the water up out into the floodplain. And again, our purpose is purely to slow down the flows, keep the sediment and pollutants on land. We're going to be putting in lots of native plants after completion, so they'll help to further stabilize the area and take up some of those excess nutrients. And I know black and white plans are a little bit hard to interpret. So let's see some photos here. So this is what we say when we mean deeply incised streams. You know, the stream bank is way cut down, the water is not flowing where it should. And if you look at these two pictures and you think of how deep these are, all of that used to be filled with dirt. All of that dirt is now in Broad Creek in the South River and probably the Chesapeake Bay by now. And every time we have a heavy rain, more and more of this dirt is shaved off and pushed out into our creeks, shallowing it up. And as you can see here in this picture, we even have trees that are falling into the site. So it's really quite a mess down there. There's no habitat. We're losing trees as the storm water keeps cutting back on these banks. So we really look forward to getting in there and stabilizing it. So here's a photo of a completed, or photos of a completed project at Harrington Harbor North. You can see one of our staff standing in here in this eroded gully, very similar height to what you'll see at Broad Creek Park. And after completion over here on the right, you'll see where we fully reconnected that floodplain. We brought flows up so the storm flows can spread out. They're losing their erosive nature. They're being stably conveyed through the site. And on this bottom row, we have some of the flowering native plants that we put on the site after it was completed. But you can see the transformation. And this is what I mean when we want to reconnect the floodplain. We want those flows to flow over land, have it be much nicer, greener, full of life. And these photos here are of other projects we've done on the Broad Creek Park parcel. As you can see here, we have structures that are, again, forcing those pools to fill up, spreading out the water, taking away the erosive nature. These pools have really become great places to see frogs and tadpoles and all kinds of cool critters. And that's what we hope to see at this site as well. Both of these projects work to stabilize and protect other trails throughout the area. Of course, this is an environmental project at its heart, but we always love when we can help add value to a community resource like trails, such as all of our work at Broad Creek Park that has gone in to stabilize some of the trails back there. So that brings us to the end of the meeting. If you have any questions, you are welcome to either email them to me directly, or we have the link here. You can go to the county's website and submit the formal comments in writing. They'll be sent to us and we'll be able to respond to those comments, and those comments will be sent out to everyone that received an invitation to this meeting. Thank you very much.